Hang on, let me try to figure out how to
Oh,
do
you're
this.
on. You're on. I can hear you.
Okay.
It just takes a second to connect.
How are you guys doing?
We're great. Scott's taking a bathroom break, but he's here.
All right, cool, man.
Yeah, we've been watching the whole race. Do you have it on?
I didn't even know where to watch it, actually. I didn't even. Oh, there it is.
There it is. Check it out.
Holy cow.
I got you. You're in that second pack there.
You the man.
You guys are about an hour.
Hey,
Oh, go
first,
ahead.
I guess first thing first, how are you guys holding up?
Oh, we're doing okay. I mean, we're all running solo and, just trying to stay safe and healthy. And we're just waiting for the governor of Arizona to tell us what we're supposed to do next. We've got that stay-at-home order till April 30th.
Okay.
But I think our state, because you're in California, I think our state's
Yeah.
doing a little bit better than yours. How are you guys?
Yes. We're hanging in there, just still bunkered in the house and running solo early in the mornings and, just trying to do the very best with the, situation that's going on right now. We think it's tough, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's a crazy world.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, there you are. You're right there.
Oh, I see that
Shaddy.
pretty boy.
How you doing?
Oh, hey, buddy, how are you, man?
I'm all right. Hanging in there.
Good. I see you guys. You still look the same. That's a good thing,
Yeah. I haven't grown the quarantine beard as much as other people. I find it really irritating with the mask.
Yeah.
Wear a mask with it.
I mean, that could be very challenging. You already have your own mask, to begin with.
Exactly.
So adding another mask on top of that would be like breathing on a straw or something.
It's tough. It's real tough.
Yeah, man.
Scott, you got this interview. This is yours, man.
Okay, sweet.
Cool.
So
hey,
I guess
honestly, thanks for doing this, guys, because I mean, I'll be sitting at home walking back and forth and not knowing what to do. So this at least give me that a little bit of hope,
Yeah.
The life still goes on.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
So where were you at kind of going into the race, like fitness goal-wise? What were your expectations had it been a more normal year than it ended up being?
Honestly, I think we had done really good training, I didn't have any setbacks, so to speak. So, with the training, you always just put your head down and, some weeks are just like, you just tired, And last 3 weeks, I started feeling better and we started doing some speed work and I could feel like my legs was moving pretty good. And I started really, thinking that, okay, I think, it's going to be okay, and I just, honestly, I've never known how my fitness is, to be honest. Maybe someday I might find out. But I always just go, I do the same training and then I go in a race and, as long as I feel okay, that's always good enough for me. And then I go in a race and just, just take the training that I've done and which, I always have confidence in that and just hoping that, just run my race and just try to have fun and just not worry about things that I cannot control. And hopefully that day might be the day. And sure enough, that day was, dude, it was rough, man.
Yeah. I think to your point, I don't know if all the viewers know this, but Shaddy is probably the best 2:12 marathoner of all time, I would say. Like,
oh, thanks. You're too kind.
I mean that in the best way possible. It's like you have these amazing performances, but like you're saying, it's like, okay, I'm gonna approach this race how I can, and then you have these outstanding results. Maybe not as fast of a time as some of the other people you finish next to on paper, but you have this incredible resume built up in placing. So, was your goal to end up on the podium for this race going in?
Yes, I mean when 1 week out, we saw the weather was still going to be terrible, and I was still kind of optimistic. Maybe it might be better. It might be better, but by Wednesday, I just throw that out the window, and I realized, you know what, it's going to be miserable. I better accept it right now and just get ready to be tough and just fight it out and just try to be, the toughest guy out there. I knew that the Kenyans and the East Africans were going to struggle for sure. And so for me, I was just like, oh yeah, that's it will take some of the fight out of the race for me. And so if I can just figure out a way to just relax, take 1 mile at a time and not worry too much and just run my race. Things should be at least on my side.
Yeah, definitely. So were you aware of how quick you guys were going early? Because I mean, even I was kind of the group behind you guys, and I even thought that I wasn't running something sustainable back there. Were you aware that the pace was so quick, or was that just something you had to do to end up on the podium?
I knew the pace was hot. We got to 10K just before 10K, and I was just like, man, this is silly. There's no way we're gonna be able to, sustain this pace. And I kind of let them go for a little bit. And thank God, my coaches were there. The Hensons, Kevin was there at first, and then Keith was like maybe a half a mile down the road. And I remember vividly Kevin saying to me, Shadi, you cannot run alone. Do whatever you have to do to get back with the group because it's going to be easy that way. And I'm just like in my head, man, I'm already hurting already. I don't know how I'm going to be able to get back, get up there. And I remember picking up my sports drink, and I didn't even bother to drink it. So I carried it with me, and I ran probably for about 400 meters to catch up with the guys. And after I caught up with the guys, then I started thinking, oh, I should drink my sports drink now because I was just, I was hurting pretty bad. Thank God, as soon as I got up with the group, the pace kind of settled down a little bit, and I was able to recover for a minute. And just at that point, I told myself, no matter what, Shadi, just stick with the group as much as you can. Hide, tuck in behind the group, find the tallest guy out there. Unfortunately, with the Kenyans, they're so tiny.
Yeah, Yuki's not real big either.
I was the tallest there, but there was one guy that I was able to tuck behind him, and I was just like, just relax, just relax. I kept reminding myself just to remember to run happy, I know it sounds kind of cliche, but seriously, that is the only thing that got me going, just run happy, just relax, just run happy, 1 mile at a time. And people kept dropping, and I'm just like, okay, just hang on, Shadrack, relax. And man, it was tough. It was tough.
Yeah, it was brutal out there. Ben,
I just wanted to jump in real quick. So when you got past that crazy point where, because there was a point where it slowed. I mean, it just slowed down. Nobody was going to be able to keep that kind of pace. And so, and as people dropped off, did you ever switch from, okay, I'm hanging on, I'm trying to find somebody to draft behind, I'm just trying to be in this pack, to maybe I could win this thing? Did that start going through your head? Because there wasn't very many people ahead of you.
To be honest, I knew when we got to, we passed, I think it was 25K by that road, the overpass before we make a right turn on the fire station. I looked back and I was
16,
like,
17.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And I was like, man, a lot of people are dropping. So I remember talking to Geoffrey and told Geoffrey, hey, man, if you want, because the pace was slowing down a little bit. So I told him, hey, if you want to win this thing, let's keep it going. Let's keep the pace going. But for him, he took it literally like that. I meant step on the gas right now. And he took off, and I was just like, man, I didn't mean it like that, And so he took off, and there was no way we could keep, match his speed. So we just let him go. And I looked, and it was just me, Kawauchi, Berhanu, the guy from Netherlands, Abdi.
Oh, Abdi.
And then who else was there? I think that was the only group, really, just 4 of us.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was just like, oh my God, I might be able to finish top 3. In my head, I'm just like, okay, just relax. I mean, I'm like, at that point, I started getting like, feeling really good. Like, oh man, I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen. And so, Kawauchi, man, that boy is, dude, talk about, dude, he deserved to win that race. There's nothing anybody could have done to take that win from him, because, dude, the guy was like, I mean, I never saw him once being affected by the wind or the rain or the cold. His skaters never changed. It's amazing.
So that's a question, kind of like, so you're in the front group and he's kind of seemingly watching the broadcast like he's off your group, he's ahead of your group. when in the race were you guys like, oh man, this guy is gonna win?
So the funny thing is, I didn't even know that he won the race, because I remember going up at Brick Hill. So it was Kawauchi, then me, then Abdi, the guy from Netherlands, and then Berhanu was
And Jeffrey's
behind.
off the front, right?
He was gone. We couldn't even see
Yeah.
him.
Okay.
And so I'm running, and I'm just like, all right, I'm feeling pretty good. That was the one mistake that I did in that race. So I decided to peel off to let Abdi and Berhanu to tag in behind Kawauchi so that I can, keep an eye on them. As soon as I peeled off, they all put on the brakes, and Kawauchi continued to press the pace on. And by the time I realized, I was like, man, just cussing in my head. Obviously I didn't really do that. And I was just like, oh man, I missed it. I missed the train. But then I was like, all right, just relax, don't worry about it. Hopefully I knew that I could run pretty good downhill. And so my hope was like, okay, I'm just gonna try to reel him back in, after the bad break hill. And so we got to the top, and I started chasing him down. And I could see him getting closer, but the wind was just, man, there was one point I couldn't even run.
Yeah.
Like, that's how strong it was. I was just walking. Like, I was like, what am I doing? It's like, and so I just decided, I knew that I was in third place at that point. So I just told myself, okay, Shadi, you're in third place. Don't do anything stupid and have people pass you. And so I settled just to be in third place. And I was just like, all right, we're not going to catch Kirui. I'm not going to catch, Kawauchi. So I better just run smart and just be able to maintain that place. And I remember I was running at some point, and I was asking people on the side of the road, hey, can you see how far the next person is? Because I couldn't even see anything. Like, dude, I was just like frozen. And somebody said, we can't even see them. And in my head, I was just, bells were ringing, I was like, oh, okay, I think it's gonna happen. And so I just kept running, and I'm passing the girls, the Kenyan girls, and we got to like 25 mile, going underneath, before we go underneath that little bridge, and then we make right.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God. I saw Edna Kiplagat there, and I'm like, good job, Edna, keep going. And she told me, oh, it's a rough day, just keep going, you're in third place. I was like, oh my God, I'm in third place, what? So I just kept running, and I remember, passing Shalane Flanagan, and I didn't even know that Joffrey was in front of me. Like, that
you ended
is
up pretty
like,
close to him, right? You nearly
dude,
caught him.
he was like literally like maybe 50 meters ahead of me or something, but I couldn't even tell because I thought it was one of the other Kenyans women. Sorry,
It was so
Joffrey.
hard to tell who you were passing from behind. Yeah.
Exactly. It was just like, it's like, I'm like, at that point I couldn't even, obviously at that point in the race, you can't even think,
Yeah.
I never really think that much, because anything I try to think, I can never figure out if that's the right answer or not anyway. So I was just like, just don't fall down, just keep running. And as soon as I finished, I saw Joffrey, and I was like, what? I said, what are you doing here? You should be already in the tent or something. And somebody told me, you almost got Joffrey. I said, what? They're like, I said, who won? They say Kawauchi won. And I was just like, oh man, I should have just hang on with Kawauchi, because I made that, silly mistake to just let him go. And honestly, at that point in the race, I was still feeling pretty good. So I think, again, maybe it's just, I don't know. I think I might have been able to, I don't think I could have, I don't know. I don't think I could have beat him, but I could have finished.
You would have tried to go with him in retrospect.
Exactly. Go with him as long as I can, and then
Yeah.
maybe just, finish second place. But dude, it was, after I realized I was third place, I was just so happy,
Yeah.
It had been a long grind, just up and down, and just emotion was, I remember, trying to call my wife. I couldn't even hold the phone. And so I'm telling, my coaches, can you dial Catherine? And I couldn't even, it was miserable, but I was so excited at the same time. It was funny, man.
Shadi, we have an opportunity here to bring Tyler Pennel on. And if we
Yes,
do that,
please.
we'll have the 3rd place, the 4th place, and the 6th place finishers. So let's bring Tyler on, and you three
Yes.
can talk for a little bit. I'll take a quick break. Scott, you're in charge.
Oh, geez. All right. Let's try not to burn it down. I don't know how to bring him on. Oh, there he is.
It'll connect here in 1 second, and then he'll be on with us.
Yeah, I love that guy, man. He's a good man.
He is
Yeah.
Hey, Tyler.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, how's it going, Shaddy?
Good. How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Good, man.
All right, Scott, you're in
you look
charge.
the same. You haven't
All right.
changed, man. I like the mohawk. Is that the mohawk I see?
I'm doing, Scott. Sorry, I had it playing in the background, so there was a lot of noise, but I got it under control now.
No worries. You're in.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
man. So you guys at the Zap campus right now?
I'm still in Atlanta, actually. I've been in Atlanta
Oh.
since the trials.
Okay.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
Dude, well, I mean, you love Atlanta that much, eh?
I mean, my girlfriend's from Atlanta, and we've just been at her parents' house. So,
Oh, okay.
and
Nice.
then the world went, to hell in a handbasket, and
Yeah, I hear you.
kind of got stuck here.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if you were listening to Shaddy's race or not, but so you ended up not too far behind Shaddy, right? Do you know how far? I don't have the results right.
I think it was like
but
15, 20 seconds behind him.
yeah, you were closing real
Dude.
hard.
I was coming. I needed another about half mile. I think I would have caught you.
This guy was coming like a free train, man. I mean, talk about just letting it rip.
Yeah.
So you guys had
Yeah.
kind of like 2 different strategies to like Shaddy went with the leaders, you were behind kind of the group that I was with and eventually
Mhm.
caught up and then continued on. So were you planning on being conservative? I guess, obviously it's probably the right call in retrospect, but you kind of knew ahead of time that going a little conservative was going to be the call.
Yeah, that was kind of the race plan going in. Is just I've swung for before this. I'd swung for the fences on a couple of races, marathons, and that either it pays off or it doesn't, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it hadn't paid off. And the one good marathon I had run really before this, like really good marathon, was Twin Cities, and
I remember
we
that.
went out conservative. And yeah, you were in the race, and we went out pretty conservative, and I was able to close really well over the last 10K, and that was kind of the goal going into the race was, all right, let's get out conservative and get up and over Heartbreak, and then coming into Boston downtown and just rolling well.
So,
So in other words,
you were in?
in other words, you're saying you ran my race for 2017, right?
Is that what you did there?
No, seriously, that's what I did. I just kind of let people go.
Yeah.
And then the last 10K, dude, and this is what I think it's unique about Boston. If you try to go out fairly decent enough and just save some for the last 10 mile, you can do some damage.
Yeah, I think that's definitely, all that early downhill, if you go out a little too hard, it wrecks you.
Oh, big time.
So were you nervous, I guess, I talked earlier to Ben about it, like, would I have done anything different? I was like, well, Tyler's race, he was more successful in his race than I was doing my strategy. And I don't know that I could have done it as well as you, but like, I guess the risk you run doing that in those conditions is that you end up having to make that move solo. Was that a concern at all, like into the big headwind? Because I think you ended up having Tim with you, if I remember correctly.
Tim and I ran all up until we caught you. And then, so at least I had Tim with me. And that definitely, we're at like 14, 15 miles. I'm like, this sucks. Like, I'm running like 5:20 pace, and I'm like shaking because I'm cold. Like, I never thought I would ever be in that situation, but I'm like, I can't just leave Tim out here by himself and just like, all right.
Yeah.
It's like, I got to lead him. We were switching off every mile and just like, all right, you kind of have to mentally prepare for that mile that you're leading. And then you're like, all right, and now it's Tim's turn. And, he must have been feeling the same way kind of as every mile he took the lead, and then I would take the lead. And eventually when we caught you, it actually kind of was a relief. Like, it was you and like, Bumby and I can't even remember who else was in that.
O'Connor was in there.
Yeah, O'Connor. And it was just like, oh, okay, let's kind of sit back behind these guys. Like, Tim and I can both sit back now.
Yeah.
And so like that was kind of nice. But yeah, it definitely was a risk. It helped that after about a mile, I just kind of looked over and I was like right next to Tim, and we were just like, I was surprised at how fast the front pack went out. And so I just kind of turned to him and was like, we're good, right? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim's the expert, man. Yeah, Tim knows about Boston.
Oh, man.
I had a question, Tyler.
Oh, yeah.
So, and maybe I missed this. I went to the bathroom really quick. I have to be honest. But what did Pete tell you guys? You guys had such a great day.
Yeah.
What was the strategy kind of across the board, or was it individual? Because I mean, obviously you ran well, Nicole ran well, Joanna ran well. It was just a great day for the program.
Mm-hmm. No, it was good, and I think, I mean, I kind of mentioned it earlier, but just go out more conservative. I said, you know, I've in a couple of past marathons, I'd swung for the fences, and it didn't quite pay out. But the one really good marathon I'd run before this was Twin Cities, and we went out pretty conservative. I mean, Scott was there, and he made the big move there, I guess. But kind of just that, and then roll really well the last 10K. So that was the goal of the race.
For sure. Did you have any idea what kind of place you were in as these things were happening? Because I was looking at the splits before as prep for this. I mean, you were as far back as 9th. I mean, pretty late. You didn't move all the way into 4th until really late. So were people telling you? I mean, I just would be interested to see or hear how that went.
I had no idea what place I was. I mean, I knew I was passing people, and half the time I didn't know if I was passing a man or a woman. Just like, because either
that's what Shaddy
like,
said.
That's
like
true. Yes.
The rain is just hard to tell sometimes, and like a lot of times I was passing them quick too. Like it was just like I'd see them up, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, I passed them, and so it just I had no idea, and I crossed the line, and as I was crossing the line, they were announcing like, and your women's champion is Des. Not to ruin it for anyone that's watching. But so I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then Ray saw me pretty soon afterwards, and he was like, Nicole got 5th, and I was like, oh shit, that's awesome. Like, I have no idea what I got. And I mean, it took a little while. Like, I was still in the tent until I found out that some lady's like, I think you got 4th. I was like, no, okay, what? I don't know. Like, no way. But yeah,
it was an incredible day. When did you guys realize that? Yeah, it was Shaddy 3rd, you 4th, Bumby 5th, Scott 6th. I mean, it was kind of amazing.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was awesome. And I mean, it just, that the conditions it was whoever kind of put their head down and just said, these are what we have to run in, and everyone has to run in these, and whoever is going to gut it out is going to do well.
Yeah.
Because the other thing, honestly, I think what that day's told people was that there's this mentality that, oh yeah, the Americans, they're not very tough, but that day, man, we were standing tall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was great day to just show that we could all just be tough as anybody else. And so I think I'm just hoping that day at least motivate a lot of young kids to just know that anything is possible in this world if you just put your head down, just work hard, and believe in yourself and surround yourself with good people, and anything is possible.
Yeah.
I got a question for all three of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rapid fire. So you all have run great marathons. Shaddy, you've been top 5 at World Marathon Majors. Tyler, you've run so great at the trials a couple times now. Scott, you've got your 2:11 and you've got your 2:12, and you've run well at the trials. Where does this race rank? It's kind of hard because you don't get this sexy time attached to it, but it's such a cool accomplishment and it's such an amazing memory. So in whatever order, where does it rank in your career?
To be honest, I think for me, anytime you finish in the podium at the Boston Marathon, I mean, that is huge, man. I think, and actually not even just like being in, 3rd place is obviously fantastic, but just the mindset that, able to just be tough, able to just to not give up when the condition is telling you not today. And so that's what makes it very special for me, yeah.
I think this is probably my favorite. Like if I had to tell people about one marathon, if I could only tell them about one, it'd probably be this one. And then either right with it or close behind would be the recent trials, just because that was, I mean, I I've only ran this Boston, so I didn't get the whole crowd experience. But that trials was insanity to me in terms of being like an athlete at an actual sporting event. That was probably my favorite. But yeah, if I had to tell the story, it's probably this one.
Yeah, I mean, definitely this Boston, it's the best placing in a big major marathon, I've ever had. But I mean, it's hard to, when you win your debut marathon, that's always, a good story. And that's always hard to be like, yeah, I mean, that was a great day for me. But I mean, this was an awesome day. Just like, I didn't know what to expect going in. It's like the couple days before, everyone's always checking the weather and they're like, oh, it's going to be crap out there. But I'm just like, whatever. Just throw off your watch and go run.
Exactly.
Now, Tyler, I was a wuss and I didn't go out there and cheer for Scott until the very end.
Did you hear Shaddy say that Keith and Kevin are out there, Ben?
I know. Kevin gave me some crap on Twitter.
Pete and Ryan are out there.
Pete and Ryan were out there? God, I couldn't do it.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
I think, I saw Pete 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, good for him. Good for him. Well, I was warm. I stayed in the hotel.
Yeah.
I got out there, though. I got the video of Scott crossing the line.
That's right, yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, totally. Here comes the finish, guys, for Des. There's Ryan. It was so cool. So when I was in the hotel room with Ryan and Josh, once she took the lead and once they realized that this was going to happen, it was just chaos because of course they believe in her, but I don't think her buildup was great. So I don't think they really thought she had a chance to win this thing. And so they were just going crazy and getting all their stuff ready and putting layers on and running outside to the finish and, making sure they had their badges. And it was totally insane.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What a day.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Speaking of just like coaching and everything, I was surprised with how many people were still out there.
That's what I said too when I finished.
Like, I'm just like, what are you guys doing out here? It's like 35 and rainy and windy. Like, I wouldn't want to be out here. Like, if I'm just standing around, I'm running and I barely want to be out here.
I think that's why Boston is ranked so high that, dude, it didn't matter if it's hot, if it's cold, if it's what, they will show up. That's how, what Boston means to a lot of people. And so I think for us, elite runners, sometimes maybe we take it for granted, but man, that day I couldn't believe it. I was just like, wow, this is, at least we're running, but just standing there, I'm sure they were frozen, but they were still out there. So it's always, an honor and just being back in Boston and, being part of that excitement and what a great race it is,
Yeah.
Totally. Well, we're gonna let you guys go so we can get Josh Cox on and he can take us through Dez's finish here. But we really appreciate you guys being on.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having us.
Good to see you guys. Hopefully we'll see you at a race sometime soon.
sometime.
Ben, before I let you go.
Yeah.
I think, man, thanks for doing this. And honestly, I think, we should try to do this more often. It doesn't have to be about running a race or something. We should just do this, check on each other once in a while. I know. Yeah, you guys, you HOKA 1-1 on, Sapling is on, with Brooks. I mean, we are all a family, what I mean? When we get in these races, we all one huge family. And so I think we should, try to do this more often just to, just check on each other, just catch up and just, I think it's very important, man.
Well said, Shaddy. We'll do.
Yeah.
Please. I'll take you on that, buddy. Okay. Thanks.
Later guys. Stay safe.